Hey guys, it's Mrs. Clancy. So today what we're going to do is we're going to turn to the page that says, how can we calculate simple interest, total amount borrowed, and total time owed over time? So if you don't know where that is in the packet, you could always go to the Google Classroom and download the PDF that goes along with this. I did hand it out to a few of you before we left. So these are the pages that we're going to go to. So please make sure you line up with those pages and get yourself ready. You may need to start pausing through the video as we go along in order to take necessary notes and figure out the information. So when I ask you to do the classwork, it's not as confusing or hard. You might need to watch the video more than once so you can answer the questions, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to skip over the do now and we're going to go to the definition. So please make sure you have a pencil ready, the packet ready, and you may need to pause the video to get the definitions down. First thing, simple interest is interest paid on the original principal, which is money borrowed or a loan or money gained on money in a bank. And in order to calculate that, we need to know the principal. The principal is the original amount borrowed for a loan, or it's the original amount of money put into a bank. And it's usually the money in the problem. Next, we're talking about rate. The rate is the percent in the problem expressed as a decimal. And finally, we talk about time, which is the time in the problem expressed in years. Sometimes it changes, so you have to really take note of that. Lastly, we use the formula I equals P times R times T. Simple interest equals principal times rate times time. Okay, so make sure you get that copy down. Pause it if you need to. So here is what it looks like. And just take that in case you need to refer back to it, but flip it over to the next page. And we're going to work through number one. Number one says the interest earned on a $700 savings in an account with the annual interest rate of 8.75 for 2 years. So first thing you want to do is write down your formula. Next thing you want to do is underline the key information, $700, 8.5% interest, and 2 years. Pause if you need to. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to write down all the important information, the 4 pieces of the formula that we need to fill in. First, we need to fill in, we're looking for the I. The P is the principal, which is the money in the problem, which is 700. The rate is your percent, which we changed to a decimal. And the time is in years, which is 2. Pause if you need to write this down. Next, we fill it into the formula. I is missing. That's what we're looking for. 700 goes in for P. 0.085 goes in for R. And 2 goes in for time. Next and final last step is you plug it into your calculator to find your interest. Do that on your calculator. And you should get $122.50. So that's how you calculate simple interest. There's a lot of variations to it, so you have to really make sure you look at what the question's asking. Let's go over to number 2. Number 2 said Chris E. bought a car that was priced at $12,000 with an annual interest rate of 8% for 40 months. How much does Chris actually pay for the car after 40 months? Well, there's a lot of information here. First, we're going to underline the fact that we have $12,000, 8% interest, but we have 40 months. We don't have years this time. So we will have to convert it to years. So write down all the pieces, and now this is what we're totaling how much he owes. So we need another step for the total. Our interest we're still looking for. The principal is our money, which is $1,200. Our rate is our percent, 8% turned into a decimal. And finally, our months is converted into years by dividing by 12, and it's 3 1/3. So what we're going to do is fill this all into the formula and then calculate it into our calculator. And then to find the total amount, you're going to take the original price that you borrowed. You're going to add it with the interest, and you're going to end up getting $15,200. Make sure to